And on this Friday, May 9th, 2025 edition of Newsmakers, Pope Leo XIV says that his election is both a cross to bear and a blessing as he celebrated his first Mass as head of the Catholic Church. The first U.S.-born Pope spoke off the cuff in English today in the Sistine Chapel to the cardinals who elected him to follow in the footsteps of Pope Francis.
You have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission. And I know I can rely on each and every one of you to walk with me as we continue as a church, as a community of friends of Jesus, as believers, to announce the good news, to announce the gospel.
Francis put a commitment to social justice at the core of his papacy. Leo acknowledged the great responsibility they had placed on him before delivering a brief but dense homily on the need to joyfully spread Christianity in a world that often mocks it. Leo will be formally installed as Pope May 18th and will preside over his first general audience May 21st. American cardinals who took part in the conclave are weighing in on the election of the first American pope. Speaking at the Pontifical North American College, New York Cardinal Timothy Dolan said he didn't think it had anything to do with President Trump, adding that they looked to Pope Leo XIV as a bridge builder.
I don't think the fact that Cardinal Prevost was from the United States had much weight.
7 of the 9 cardinal electors from the U.S. spoke at the news conference. Meanwhile, the new pope has been described as a humble man with a heart for the unborn. Father Dennis Wild, an Augustinian priest who is the associate director of Priests for Life, yesterday recalled a young seminarian he knew in the 1970s at Villanova University as a humble man who was not into himself but into the Lord Jesus Christ. That seminarian became Pope Leo XIV. Wild says as a student at Villanova, Robert Prevost was one of the founders of the pro-life organization Villanovans for Life that is still active some 50 years later. LifeNews.com reports during his time in ministry within the Catholic Church, the new pope condemned abortion and urged compassion and support for both unborn children as well as the elderly and disabled. Also, a 2012 video provided to Catholic News Service, the news agency of the U.S. Bishops' Conference, featured Prevost's address to the World Synod of Bishops against the backdrop of images from popular TV series and movies, where he said Western mass media is extraordinarily effective in fostering within the general public enormous sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel, for example, abortion, homosexual lifestyle, euthanasia. When he became a cardinal in 2023, Catholic News Service asked him if his views had changed. He acknowledged Pope Francis' call for a more inclusive church, but he underlined that doctrine had not changed in line with Francis. In his first remark as Pope last night, Leo spoke about building bridges and God's love for all. The White House is previewing President Trump's upcoming visit to the Middle East. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt today said Trump is going to reaffirm his commitment for a free and prosperous Middle East. He'll visit U.S. troops at the air base in Qatar, the largest U.S. military base in the region. He will also be in Saudi Arabia and get an update on Israel-Gaza war ceasefire talks. And that's Newsmakers for this Friday, May 9th, 2025 edition. I'm Keith Black.